So in this session we are going to discuss about the detail about the feed forward and ratio control strategies. As a ratio control will be viewed, or it's viewed as a the special case of feed forward control. Now you see, in the beginning class of process control we have discussed regarding the strategy of qualitatively, the strategy of this feed forward control considering the binary distillation column. So let's have another example, and after that we will go for the exact design of these feed forward units. So feed forward control here, what we are going to discuss is feed forward control of CSTR. Right. See, we have CSTR here, and some exothermic reaction is taking place, so we have a cooling jacket as well. So this is the liquid level, and we have the feed, right, and we have two valves. One is in the coolant line, another is the product withdrawal line. Right? One is the coolant line, another is the product withdrawal line, and we have to go for implementing the feed forward control scheme here. So what are the potent disturbances? Definitely one will be the inlet composition, another will be the temperature. Right? So this is being fed to the feed forward controller. Right? And we have two disturbances, so we must need here this, except the previous two sessions discussions where we had disparity between the number of manipulated variable and the number of control objective. Here, just like feedback loops, we have the one-to-one correspondence. One disturbance means respectively one manipulated variable. Right? So feed forward controller, now it will control this coolant flow. Here you will have the coolant outflow. Right. This is the product line, and here we have the feed flow. So from here it will operate both the valves. Right? So once this composition deviates from its set point, or the temperature changes from its set point, both the valves are being operated. Specifically for temperature, these valves will be operated, whereas for compositions we have to operate these valves. So if I have to go by one-to-one correspondence. Now coming to this design of feed forward control systems, we will try to demonstrate it, the example of constant level start tank heater. So we have used this example multiple times in order to understand, maybe that first we have used it in order to understand the complications of this time domain input output model, where from we have introduced this Laplace domain. Here again we are considering this pretty simple unit, but it is highly useful in explaining some of the control principles. So it was V dt dt is equal to Fi into Ti minus T plus Q dot divided by rho Cp, right? Fi and F are same. Fi is equal to F as dH dt equal to 0, and that was the understanding, or that was the assumption of this constant level. Okay? So you see this dt, what you can have as Fi by V, which is 1 by tau Ti minus T plus Q dot divided by rho Cp. So finally this coming to be with this whether we can proceed. Okay, let's try. So it is. Let's keep it. Let's not introduce this. Let's keep it as Fi by V. So dt prime dt plus Fi by V, right? Whole bracket T is equal to Fi by V into this Ti prime plus Q dot prime by rho Cp. Done. So that's my first order system. We have this Q dot prime, all are written in deviation variable as manipulated variable. Right. This Ti prime is the disturbance, and T prime is the state variable or output or control objective. Now you see, if we go for this Laplace transform, we will just simply think of this Laplace transform of this unit at the state equation. It will be S plus Fi divided by V, right? Or we can further modify it before going in. So V divided by Fi dt prime dt plus T prime is equal to Ti prime plus this V will be multiplied here. So 1 divided by Fi rho V into Q dot. So that's better. That's a better form. So V divided by Fi into S plus 1 whole bracket T prime bar is equal to Ti prime bar plus 1 by Fi rho V, or sorry, Fi rho, that V will cancel out, rho Cp, Fi rho Cp into Q dot bar, or Q, let's not use this dot here, Q prime, right? Q prime. So you see this manipulated variable Q prime bar is equal to V by Fi S plus 1 into T prime bar minus Ti prime bar whole bracket into Fi rho Cp, right? And what we want? We want T prime bar to be always at its set point. So desired condition is that T prime bar will be equal to TSP prime bar. No matter whether the set point, Z point may be changing with time, right? Set point may be changing with time, that is in case of servo control, or it may be fixed at some constant value which is a regulatory control where the disturbances are only changing, or maybe a combined case where we have a non-zero disturbance change, additionally we have a change of set point. So in all cases we can go for feed-forward control if we have properly identified the potent disturbance. So if I write this, you see that q dot prime is equal to this tau s plus 1. Now we can use it, t prime bar minus ti prime bar whole bracket into Fi rho Cp, where this tau will be equal to V by Fi, that's the space time of the heater, right? So that should be my desired manipulated value, right? So what should be the respective block diagram? You see from this process, this is tau. So the process here, it's quite simple. Like we have t prime bar, it's equal to 1 divided by tau s plus 1 ti prime bar plus 1 divided by Fi rho Cp divided by tau s plus 1 u prime bar. So my open loop will be something like this. So here we have q prime bar and the transfer function is 1 divided by Fi rho Cp divided by tau s plus 1 being added with the disturbance block, right, being added with the disturbance block, and here for the disturbance block we have 1 divided by tau s plus 1, and that is ti prime bar, reducing the output, that is t prime bar, right. So that's the open loop. So once we have the open loop, now next what we do here, we have the set point, see, TSP prime bar, we multiply it by a block which is tau s plus 1, right, whatever is tau s plus 1. Next we subtract it, just we are trying to implement this equation, we subtract it from the local value of ti prime, and then we multiply, so it is a pure gain block which is having a transfer function Fi rho Cp for that specific case, and we decide about qi prime. So this is the system specific or specific purpose start or feed forward specific purpose feed forward control loop for constant level start tank heater. Right. Now if I want to generalize it, here it will be both plus, here it is plus and minus. So now if I want to generalize it, where we have the measuring device, we have the spiny control element and all these standard hardwares, then what should be the what should be the general structure of a feed forward control loop, that we have to decide first. So general block diagram feed forward control loop. Right? So you see what we are having here. That's the typical open loop first. This is the disturbance block GD, similar to this. Right? Going to the adder inherent in the process. This is the process block, transfer function GP. Here we have the manipulated variable in brightness, and here we have disturbance, producing the output. Right? So this is again the open loop. Now, here you see, whenever we are having the set point, YSP prime, there must be a block associated to the set point before it is being operated with the current disturbance. So there must be a set point block, let's call it a block with a transfer function GSP. Yes. Okay? Next, here how you measure the disturbance. Definitely you have a measuring device. So which was not considered in the previous one, because it was just a demonstrative. And here we are going for the foolproof feed forward loop. So there will be plus and this is minus. Next, we go for the controller. This is equivalent to feed forward controller. So we have got a hint that feed forward controller for this specific start tank heater, it's simply a gain element, right? Which means, and that gain element is process specific. So we have got a hint that typical feed forward controller is totally different from the standard PPI and PID type feedback controller. It has got some special transfer function which are to be decided, right? Next, from GC, we have GF, the final control element, and that element also we have not considered in the specific purpose process, and finally it's going to here, right? So you see that should be the general structure of a feed forward loop. Now if I am, now here we have two input, one is the set point and another is the disturbance, just like feedback. So let's write Y prime as a function of YSP and D prime by simple block diagram simplification. So you see GSP into YSP prime bar minus GM into D prime bar, this signal here, whole bracket into GC, GF, GP, here we are, it's being added with D prime bar into GD giving Y prime bar, correct? So YSP prime bar into GSP, GC, GF, GP, that's the multiply, plus D prime bar GD minus GM, GC, GF, GP is equal to Y prime bar, right? Now for the desired state of functioning, basically we have to think about the desired state of functioning. Desired state is Y prime, no matter whatever may be the D prime bar, but Y prime bar should be always equal to YSP prime bar. That means the output should be always at its set point. So for that to implement, definitely the coefficient of this YSP bar in the equation must be equal to 1. That means this one must be equal to 1 and this one must be equal to 0, right? And then only we are having only Y prime bar is equal to YSP prime. So you see that GD minus GM, GC, GF, GP equal to 0. What does it mean? GC is equal to GD divided by GM, GF, GP. First finding, right? And GSP is equal to 1 divided by GF GP into GC. Now substitute the expression what we have obtained for GC, that is GD GM GF GP. So GF cancels out, GP cancels out, so it is GM divided by GP, right? So GSP is equal to GM divided by GP. So these two are the design, right? Now if let's map the previous case. If GM is equal to GF is equal to 1, then we will have GC is equal to GD by GP, the first one, and GSP is equal to 1 by G, right? Now let's check whether we have got it here or not. What is GD? GD is equal to 1 by tau s plus 1. And what is GP? GP equal to 1 divided by Fi rho Cp divided by tau s plus 1. Now if GM and GF is equal to 1, GSP should be equal to this 1 divided by GD, right? It's exactly same, which is tau s plus 1. And here GC will be equal to this GD by GP, right? GD divided by GP. And what is GD here? 1 divided by tau s plus 1. And here it is 1 divided by Fi rho Cp, that divided by tau s plus 1, giving you simply Fi rho Cp, which is exactly consistent with what we have found. So this, you remember that any feedback loop, feed forward loop should have this general structure, right? And the respective this controller's transfer function and set point blocks transfer function we can find out from these two expressions, right? From these two expressions we can find out the controller's block transfer function and the set point blocks transfer function. Now in this relation we must draw some general inference about the feed forward control strategy. Right. So for feed forward control, you see what we can say. The first one, feed forward controller is a special type of controller. Special type, comma, without any match with conventional feedback controllers. P, PI and PID. First. The second inference, to design a feed forward controller, we must have an accurate model, that is knowledge of GD and GP, accurate, we must have an accurate process model, right? We must have an accurate process model. The third one, considering GM/GF equal to 1, here we have GC is equal to this GD by GP. Right. So if GD is equal to, generally what happens, GD and GP for standard cases will have the same denominator, like the gains will be only different, KD divided by tau PS plus 1 and GP will be equal to KP divided by tau PS plus 1. So generally, so GC is this GD, GD is KD divided by GP, that is KP, right? A pure gain element, as we have found in case of this constant level start tank heater. However, if I have this multiple process blocks and multiple disturbance block, maybe more than one these disturbances and more than one manipulated variable, like there the GD is equal to KD divided by say alpha S plus 1 for first order systems we are discussing basically, and GP is equal to KP divided by C beta S plus 1. Then GC, which is GD by GP, so KD divided by KP, right? So KD divided by KP, beta S plus 1 divided by alpha S plus 1. So you see, this element 1 divided by alpha S plus 1 is typically the lag element, right? And beta S plus 1 in the numerator is a lead element, which has got a very similarity with this PD controller. So overall, it is a lead lag element. It is to be noted that overall it must be a kind of lead lag element, right? So this controller, this feed forward controller, may be a pure gain or alternatively it may be a lead lag element. Next, let say this GD is equal to KD, it's 1 to 1 1, the single process block and single disturbance block. Then we can have this is tau D S, both are first order system with dead time. So GP is equal to KP into e to the power minus tau PS divided by tau S plus 1. Now the controller, you see, it is KD divided by KP, right? E to the power tau P minus tau D whole bracket S. Now if tau P is greater than tau D, then controller will be a high lead element, right? Because if I solve for this phase shift, we will see that this will be equal to tau P minus tau D whole bracket omega, right? So it is a huge lead element. Huge lead element means we need actually the future value of error to predict the current manipulated value, right? Which alternatively indicates in order to control, like in order to control the system properly, we need future value of error. So what will be the inference? Feed forward controller will not be feasible, right? The feasibility will be the question. So this is about the feasibility of feed forward controller. Try to understand this. Okay. the feed forward controller will no longer be feasible. If it is, it has got a huge lead in terms of this exponential. Just like the dead time is a huge lag, this feed forward, this positive exponential transfer function, it's a huge lead. Okay? So under this situation, we cannot design a feed forward control. So next you see, as you have mentioned, that this I am not trying to mention this, including the characteristics, like feed forward is non-robust control strategy. So this is always to be coupled with feedback, right? So next topic is coupled feedback feed forward loop. What is that? We have YSP, right? We have a comparator. This is a feedback loop. Let's draw the feedback loop first. Let's write it to be GC1. Right. Normally it goes to GF, being implemented on the process. Okay. Then we have the disturbance hitting the process plus and plus, going output, and here we have the measuring device GM1. Right? Now if I attach feed forward, so here we'll have the same signal YSP, prime bar, then the block, set point block GSP, right? The comparator, here the output of measuring device 2, which is measuring the disturbance. Next comes the feed forward controller, GC2. Now, how to implement it? Definitely, these controller's outputs are to be added, right? So there is an adder going to the final controller. So this is combined feedback feed forward loop. Okay. So you see what will be the input output relation here. So we have the disturbance D prime bar. So you see that YSP minus Y prime into GM1 whole bracket into GC1 plus, what happens here? YSP prime minus or into GSP, YSP prime into GSP minus D prime into GM2 whole bracket GC2. These two are being added. So totally they are multiplied by GC, GF and GP. Then it's being added with D prime into GD. Right? Giving him Y prime bar. So you see that if I shift this to this side, what will happen? So YSP now GC1, here it's GC1 plus GSP, right? Plus GSP, or rather GC1 and GSP into GC2. Then the common multiplier GFGF. So then GFGP, right? Plus D prime bar. What are the multipliers? So D prime bar GM2 into GC2 into GF into GP. That's 1 with a minus. And here is this. So GD minus GM2 into GC2 into GF into GP whole bracket D prime bar. It's equal to Y prime bar within bracket, and this part is to be shifted. So 1 plus GM1 GC1 GF into G. So what is the final function? Y prime bar will be GC1, GSP, GC2, GF, GP divided by 1 plus GM1, GC1, GF, GP into YS prime bar plus GD minus GM2, GC2, GF, GP whole bracket D prime bar divided by 1 plus GM1, GC1, GF, G. So that's the final block diagram, a closed loop transfer function. Right, closed loop transfer function for feedback, feed forward loop. Right. So what's very, very important to understand and very means interesting observation, that this denominator. So if I ask you that what is the characteristic equation? So characteristic equation of this combined feedback feed forward loop is 1 plus GM1 GC1 GF into GP equal to 0, and that you can immediately understand that same as only feedback loop. Right? So what is our inference here? That upon attaching or feedback or feed forward connection does not alter the stability of the process. So if I have an existing feedback and if it is stable, then in that simply I have attached the feed forward, right? Look, the stability of that unit is not going to change, which is very, very advantageous for this coupling mode. We can couple without checking the stability issues. Simply we can couple the feed forward loop to this existing feedback loop. So you see that this is the feedback loop, and here this one is the feed forward loop. Right? So that's about in general what is necessary to understand for feed forward, right? Feed forward or feed forward control strategy. So next we are going to discuss the last topic of our syllabus. I have covered the syllabus, and next in the next session we are going to discuss about the problems of module 1 and module 4, right? Including some gate problems of module 2 and 3. Now the last topic, it's mostly descriptive. There is no quantitative aspects majorly associated to it as something new, that is the ratio control. Right? Controlling the ratio of two streams. Example, air to fuel ratio in a furnace, right? And you have the different other systems. This is the most common example of ratio control, that whenever see in a furnace where the fuel burnout rate is continuously to be changed, because the feed flow rate to the furnace or heating for this heat, whatever stream we are heating, the temperature, its flow rate may change. So accordingly, the temperature requirement or temperature demand in the furnace will change. So once the temperature demand changes, it will instruct higher or lower fuel flow rate. and accordingly the ratio of air is to be changed, right? So in ratio control we have one wide stream over which we will not look for controlling, right? This is being dictated by some other or external control loop, like temperature control of a furnace dictates that fuel flow rate is to be changed. So here in the air fuel ratio, the fuel flow will be considered as wide stream, which we are not going to change, right? And another controllables, or rather what is the name exactly, let me check, is controllable or manipulated, right? Controllable stream. With a technical name we use another controllable stream. Right, one wide stream, another controllable stream. In ratio control. Right. So there are two strategies. The first one, let's discuss. Here I have the wide stream, here I have the controllable stream. Right. So I measured the flow. Here also I measured the flow of the controllable stream. Then an element which divides the flow rate, divisor, right? And that is fed to a comparator. So here we are getting the actual ratio with which it operates, right? So this will be minus. So here we fed it with desired ratio. Okay? So once we have the desired ratio, so with that desired ratio we will have the ratio control, and here we will have this or whether, okay, let me again check whether it is using this RC or it's written simply this GR. Actually it stands for this ratio block basically. Okay, so let's call it flow controller or ratio controller RC, right? And this will change the flow rate here. So this is controllable stream and this is wide stream, right? This is one scheme of controlling the ratio. Another scheme is you have again the wide stream and flow line fitted with a valve, control valve in the controllable stream. So here we have the flow transmitter, then a multiplier block, right? It's a multiplier. Where we fed the desired ratio, right? So I'm supposed to get the desired flow rate of the controllable stream. Now, controllable stream flow I measure and I fed that to ratio control. Here it will be again this desired flow rate of this stream will be given, and now it will control this valve. Right. So both of the schemes are implementable, and actually you see that if it is this both, just like an example, being fed to a furnace, This is being fed to a furnace. And controllable stream is here. This wild stream is fuel. Right. And we have the mixer and all, and then this flame is being generated, and we have the heaters, these heating coils. So this is the inflow, and we are getting this, let's say this is the outflow, right? And I want to control the temperature of this outflow line. So here I will fix a temperature transmitter, then a temperature controller, and which will operate this valve in the fuel line, right? So once this valve, the temperature requirement in the furnace changes the flow in the fuel line, automatically the ratio will be changed and the air line flow rate will be automatically adjusted and the same desired ratio will be maintained. So you see this temperature loop is the master loop. It is being cascaded with this ratio control loop. So feed forward, why it is being referred as a kind of feed forward? Because before the mix, right, before these two stream mixes in the furnace or in some other process unit, we are changing their ratio in advance, and that's why feed forward. So whenever we are doing some control action in advance, we know it is a feed forward strategy. So essentially we call that ratio control as a special class of feed forward control. So that's all about module 4. In the next session, we are going to solve some general problems, semester type problems, and also some gate problems pertaining to all the entire this syllabus. Thank you.